Welcome everyone. You may know this channel as one that showcases amazing glitches and crazy mechanics for Super Mario Maker 2. Well, using all the knowledge I've collected, I set out on a quest to remake a video game that had a popular stint this past year, Friday Night Funkin'. Now I know what you're thinking, plenty of people have simulated that game with different ideas. You've seen levels where enemies fall on rails and you have to run back and forth and kill them, but not one that actually reacts to the button inputs that are on the original game itself. Up, down, left, and right. How would you capture those button inputs, you may ask? Well, we have to use detection contraptions, and that often involves glitches. 3 different ones, active at the same time to be exact. So let's go on a little bit of a journey. First, we have to map out the different controls we're looking to capture. Let's solve left and right first. They seem to be the easiest to wrap our head around. There are a lot of different ways to do this, usually using a setup involving a ghost or two, being as how they behave differently depending on whether or not you're looking at them. This is called direction detection, and I'm sure you've seen it done many different ways. I figure while I'm making this level, I might as well make it using the best direction detection contraption I can find. Look no further than this one right here. It's an off-screen global direction detection device. It's a wee bit complicated. Before I press start and show you what happens, notice this big spike ball right here. When we start the game, the spike ball will break, but when the setup is off screen, the spike ball will be loaded in, but not activated. So it won't behave like a normal spike ball, meaning it will activate an on-off switch if it gets within range, but it will not break. When I start the scene, the thwomp right here will hyperspeed its way up due to these slopes that it starts within. It then gets stuck between this note block and P block, causing it to hyper vibrate. This vibration shakes this freestanding ghost that is pinned between these other 4 ghosts. The ghost has a blaster on top of it. When this blue block is just a dotted line, the blaster will vibrate, pushing the spike ball that's still there off screen towards the on-off switch, activating it. The switch activates, which turns this dotted line blue block solid, pushing the blaster back, pulling the spike ball away from the on-off switch again. The Koopalings are here to make the enemy towers stay global. This setup is then mirrored on the other side of the level, so when you look the opposite direction, the on-off state will change again. So yep, this solves left and right, and it works fairly consistently, 95% of the time. Also, it works while off screen, which is wonderful and a bit mysterious. In an ideal level like this, everything should be off screen. Next, let's tackle the down input. I have seen a few different contraptions dealing with duck detection. When you are Big Mario and you duck, it changes how some enemies perceive you. For example, if a blue Mecha Koopa is on a very specific height, it will only see you and therefore will only fire its laser if you duck. There are 2 ways we can use this. We can have him fire his laser at an on-off switch, but this isn't ideal because he has seriously bad ping. The lag just takes too long to be reliable for our purposes. So Mario falls asleep and we can't rely on any accurate timing, so it would break the concept of the game. We can also use the fact that he stops moving when he charges his laser blast. So he stands still, but the other 2 enemy towers keep walking. A bomb on either side gets crushed, activating the on-off switch. This setup effectively reduces lag to 0, but everything dies. I don't see how we can make either of these repeatable, so unfortunately we can't use them. There's another duck detection device that I came across that's a bit more reliable, and it's exactly what we need. It involves a thwomp inside of a clown car, stuck between 2 slopes. When this big bomb spawns from the pipe, it gets wedged in the clown car, but it isn't crushed. When you duck, the clown car flies downward ever so slightly, causing the bomb to get crushed and explode. We put an on-off switch close enough to feel the tremor, and voila! Repeatable duck detection. Now every time we duck, bam, explosion. On-off switch gets hit. If we duck too fast, then the setup breaks a little bit, but we won't be pressing down that fast in our Friday Night Funkin' level, so I don't think we have to worry about that. This detection device does need to be on screen to function, which isn't ideal, but it's fairly compact, so I'm okay with that. Awesome, so we have left, right, and down figured out. We just have 1 left. And unfortunately, I couldn't think of a great way to detect the up input. However, there are many different ways to detect jumping in this game. We're going to use Super Mario Bros. 1 Ground Night theme. This is possible because in this theme, a mushroom will jump when Mario jumps. Mushrooms can interact with note blocks, which can in turn interact with other things. So we're just going to have to swap the up input with the jump input, which is fairly fitting because when you jump, you go up. There are a million different ways to make a jump detection device. Usually, a mushroom hits a note block that forces a moving shell into an on-off switch. But I think we can do better than this. So I dug through my saved clips and found a jump detection device that will fit our needs perfectly. This one can be off screen, which is super nice. When you jump, the mushroom jumps and lands on this note block. The note block pushes the cannon into the thwomp hits the sideways spring, activating it, hitting the on-off switch. Bam! Every time we jump, it's detected. Now we have one last thing to simulate, how we're going to time our inputs. I had a few different ideas about this, but this is what I settled on. Blocks will move along these rails and bombs will be sitting next to the arrows inside of empty on-off blocks. When you trigger the on-off block, the bomb gets crushed, causing an explosion. We map it so the inputs are correct based on which block we need to break. We force the correct inputs by placing the bombs in the correct order. If a block doesn't break, it will travel back around and crush Mario, which is a fitting consequence. I suppose you could go crazy with the inputs and do random ones, but I placed bombs where they need to be in order for the inputs to make sense. If you blow up a bomb too quickly by spamming inputs, you won't have enough bombs for the last few blocks and you'll fail then anyways. Plus, you'll notice that with this setup, the duck detection and jump detection will go off, but then go back on again because of the direction detection correcting things. So left and right cause 1 change, but up and down cause 2 changes with the on-off blocks. This isn't too much of a problem as far as setting up the correct order of inputs, but it does make cheating the system more confusing, which I kind of like as well. If you successfully break break all of the blocks, a poison mushroom will come along, making you small, allowing you to escape this little trap. So here it is, a mostly fully functioning Friday Night Funkin' level that works as expected, the focus being detecting your inputs, being the closest level yet to the actual original game. There's more to be done, like adding music, but overall this was a very fun project to work on. I'm sure we can improve on it over time. The level code is 1WP9VT. 1YF. But due to the glitchy nature of it, it's only a matter of time until it gets deleted by Mr. Krabs, I mean Nintendo. So play it while you can. Be sure to like the video if you found it interesting, informative, or entertaining. Using glitches we can get pretty damn close to recreating other games, or maybe boss battles, so if you have any interesting ideas of things you'd like me to try to recreate, place them in the comments down below. Until next time, peace out.